application. And in that we would be having the pointers like overview about the data, how data
अगं
is
मला
gathered,
बोलायचं ते अभ्यासाविषयी
what kind of
बोलायचंय.
things are
आज त्याचं प्रेझेंटेशन आहे ना.
in data.
हो.
Post that we are having
नाही
the methodology, how what kind of processes we have done, and finally we would be getting some results or conclusion or insights. We would be calling those things. So those are there. So this would be giving us the an idea or idea of what does that research design is. And also we would be having one more parameter which is nothing but ethical consideration into the design. And post that, yeah, we would be having the question answer session, and yeah, references. So that's how the presentation outline is. And yeah, let's get started with the topic over here. So yeah, research design is nothing but an overview, or we can rather say the standard operating procedure where we can aim the systematic investigation of any of the process we wanted to have. So what we will do is I have taken some of the application from the AIML area, and we would try to correlate those things with the research design. So as it was suggested, so we would be taking two kind of applications over here. So first of all, we would be having the improving the diabetes disease early prediction with by using the ensemble method like stacking, and that too with different kind of data we would be having. Suppose that there is one of the application or solution which we are providing to my company itself, which we are doing the capacity planning for the different sort of financial operation teams, and we are calculating the full time employees with respect to the workload which we are having over there. So let's get started with the key components which we gonna have over here. So yeah, in the research design, of course, we would be having the objective of the research and research question over there. Then hypothesis, methodology, and then drivers which are influencing that study or variable. We would say that. Then population, sample, data collection and analysis, schedule adherence, and ethical consideration. So taking a few second pause over here, let me know if you are following me or you are having any questions. Okay, taking your silence as no. So let's get started with our first application, which is nothing but improving the diabetes disease prediction by using the ensemble stacking method with the different data set like PIMA, local data set, and there is one more, the synthesized data set over there. So prominently, this application would cover the several kind of research methodology, whether it would be the experimental, then quantitative, machine learning focused, like that. So we would be aiming for that things over here. So yeah, this is about the overview how the data looks like. So as we had talk about, we are having three kind of data over here which is into the study. So first of all, we are having the PIMA data, which is from the Kaggle freely available data. And if we are talking about the features over there, so we are having the 8 kind of features which are for the 768 unique records. And suppose that we are having some positive and negative cases over there, like 268 positive records which are encoded as one, and rest 500 are nothing but the negative diabetes patient over there. So this is what we are having with respect to the PIMA data set. Suppose that we are having the Pabna hospital data. Basically, Pabna is a city in Bangladesh where this study has been done. So this data has been gathered over there by by having some ethical consideration and some some of the some of the things which we need to consider while gathering those data from this site or doing the experimentation itself. So they are more focused on the female who are over 21 age, and there were the 465 patients on which this study has been done. And yeah, different characteristics was there with that, like 373 are diabetic, and 72 were no, sorry 92 were the non-diabetic patient over there. And of course there is some of the patient were like 131 who were taking the insulin, and rest wasn't taking that. And also we are having that genetically transferred or genetically inherited diabetes, which was found in 293 patient over there. And also this data has 9 independent feature over there. Okay. Suppose that we are having the simulated data, so to have a two-step verification with the different kind of different kind of data or different kind of features, we are having this simulated data, which is provided by that in that paper itself, on top of whatever the analysis we are doing over here. So that thing is also having the 10 independent features, and it is again used to strengthen that predictive approach over there. So moving forward, sorry, moving forward with the methodology part, how we have done those things. So what we have done is we have fed the input data over here, and post that we have done some pre-processing of the data, like standardization, then missing value imputation, outlier imputation by IQR method, then balancing. What does the balancing means? Balancing is nothing but to make the two classes equivalent over here. We are having diabetic and non-diabetic patients. Okay, so to make those both the classes the same one, like weightage of those classes same one, like we could see in the previous slide, 768 we are having the unique observation, but 268 are only positive, rest are the negative. So there can be a bias with the negative patient only. So our model can give the biased result. For that we are doing that balancing over here. Suppose that this process data has been fed to the different several models, and the evaluation protocol is done by using the two kind of techniques, like 70-30 trend test, or five-fold cross validation over there. And we are having those proposed MLDL algorithm with the stack and ensemble, and then performance evaluation, and finally the prediction is done. So yeah, over here we are having two kind of approaches. So first of all, we are having the neural network, which are stacked together, like three kind of neural networks are there. And post that we are having three kind of ML algorithms which are stacked and to get the desired output. So let's get started with the first approach, which we are having the ML approach over here. So in ML approach, what we do is we are feeding the process data to the three kind of algorithm, like decision tree, SVM, then random forest. And what we do is we are collecting the output from that individual model and feeding it into the meta learner, which we are used over here as a logistic regression. And then we are predicting the things over here. Same with the deep learning approach. So we are having three kind of models over here with the different dense layers, activation functions, like that. And over here also we are just combining those things together and making a stack model, and feeding those output of the individual model as a feature to the meta learner, which is logistic regression, and then final output is made. So what we are doing, what essence we are getting over here with respect to stacking is nothing but with the different several models, we are trying to enhance the intelligence of whatever the prediction we are making. Okay. Suppose that we are coming to the final stage, which is nothing but the insights over here, which are made from that study. So the early stage diabetes detection can be achieved, and on top of it we have done the simulation study, which would be giving us a robust results on top of whatever the study we have made. And also we can see over here we are having the highest accuracy, like 95% for the simulate data, then PIMA data 77.10, and primary data which was got from the Pabna hospital is 96.91. So pretty convincing results over here with respect to the accuracy. And also in this domain, this is the one of the best output which we have got from the study and from the paper which I have referred. So these are the insights from this particular first application. So yeah, taking a pause over here, let me know if you are good with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Abhishek, the technique which is used for data collection, can you just tell me what is the technique used?
Okay.
Available. So, what is the technique?
Sure. So first of all, the PIMA dataset is nothing but free available Kaggle dataset. Okay. Second, the simulated data. Again, the researchers have made that data by considering some parameters. So it is the nothing but the generated data, synthetic data. Suppose that we are having the third data. Yeah, we are having the third data, which is nothing but Pabna hospital data. So what they have done is they have taken that data by doing the survey. So whatever the people was coming into the hospital to check the diabetes, so they have taken their permission to whether we can include that things in study or not, and post that they have used those records or those features for the study and to train the model as well. So this is the real time data which we are seeing over here in Pabna hospital.
Right. And the first one is already available.
Yeah, already available in Kaggle repository. Yeah.
So can you just describe it by telling me the correction we understood? What is type?
Sorry?
I just wanted to give a relevance. The type of, is it primary collection? Right. So let me tell you for this kind of a
I'm not able to follow you. Your voice is breaking in between.
Okay, Abhishek, am I audible now?
Much better. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was asking you about what type of technique is used for the data collection. So you have maybe used primary type of data collection or secondary data collection method. So in that way, how do you tell about all these methods? Which one is coming as in the primary data collection technique, secondary data collection technique, like that?
I'm not sure about the type of data collection used over here. I just
So let
know
me
about
explain you for this case. Yeah, let me explain you for the students as well. This is a good case study to understand the data collection method as well as design point of view. The one the researcher have taken the primary data collection as well as secondary data collection. So the one which is constructed by taking people opinion, by taking their own experience or their own data, it's a primary data collection. While secondary one is the basically the data which is already published by other researcher. So that is a Kaggle repository. And the third one is a simulated data in the data only, because these synthetic data set which is constructed or which is created by applying some of the algorithm. I mean some data creation method, but so that is again in the category of secondary data collection. Okay. So Abhishek, you can continue with the
sure.
next part.
Thank you. So yeah, jumping on to the second application which I have used over here
नको
to
मला ऐकून वाटलं
furnish my thoughts regarding the data research design is
आवाज आहे ना ऐकताच येते
capacity planning
बघते
or
आम्हाला
full-time FT estimation. So what we
अगं
do
तसं
is
आणि ते कुत्री पोरगी
we are
युपीएससी
having
करणं
some
तिने माझी जागा नाही
financial transaction or what
टाकली
different sort of
अजून पोरीचं व्हायचंय
transaction or
अजून
things
या
we are
गाडा
doing.
अडकून
So for that, what kind of
जंगम कशी
to
असेल
cater
सर
that
काय
workload,
म्हणता
what kind of
प्रगती आहे ना
or up to
अधोगती
what
चाललंय
extent the number of
युपीएससी पण
people
नापास
we
होणार
would
आहे आणि
need
इथं पण
in a
नापास
team,
होणार आहे
that calculation we are doing by analyzing the
युपीएससी
previous
मग तर
data
2 तास
or
असेल सर माहिती का ब्रेक
previous
मला
previous
हसतच
data
का
which we
म्हणा
are having, and
काय माहित
also
तो
like
पोरग शेजारचा
with
एवढं का
reference to
हसायला
that we could be able to
युपीएससी काम
we could be able to bridge the gap between the what we have
मला
and what
हसायलाच
we
येतं
need,
म्हणून मग कोणी युपीएससी
like that. And also
झाले तर आपण
it can
मारतो
give
तो
us
कसं
an idea
बोलतो
that current staffing is
होती
how much up to what extent it
युपीएससी
is
करायचं एक
capable
मिळून फॉर्म्युला आपले क्लास
to
काढून
complete
देणार
the
काय आपला
task for the
फॉर्म्युला सांग बघू
specified tenure. So this is an
नाही
overview
युपीएससी काढायला
regarding this
फॉर्म्युला काय
application.
ऐका ना साहेब
So again,
इकडे बघा ना
why we are
माझं
doing
बोलतोय ना
this
मी
to minimize the employee burnout,
हा.
then to make the better strategic decisions,
एक
like
दिवशी चांगली
to
नोकरी
foresee
घ्यायची
what
आहे
is coming, and
25 पर्यंत
with
चांगल्या
respect to
लेवलला
what
पोहोचायचं
we need to do
आणि 25
with
पासून
respect to
30
the
पर्यंत
number
रोज
of
2
heads.
2 तास अभ्यास चालू करायचा
Post that, yeah,
नाही
time
का
and cost
आणि 30 ला
optimization, like
फेब्रुवारी 1 दिवस
as
सॅबॅटल
we
घ्यायचं
are
1 वर्ष सुट्टी मिळते ना आम्ही
foreseeing
10 वर्ष
the
नोकरी केलं 1
upcoming
वर्ष
tenure,
सॅबॅटल घ्यायचं
so there would
तिशी
be
ते 31
reduction in time
परीक्षा द्यायची आणि
time
31 ला
because of
अटेंड द्यायचं फर्स्ट अटेम्प्टच लागला
as
कारण
we are
32
knowing
तुम्ही युपीएससी बसून देत
what
नाही
kind
पेपर
of area
फर्स्ट
need to be
अटेम्प्ट तुमचं
focused,
लास्ट आहे म्हणून
and
एक्सेल
also
झाला
there would
तर
be the
कलेक्शन
cost
ठीक नाही तर नाही
optimization as
मग
well,
काय
whether
तुम्हाला काहीच
if
दुःख
the team is
नसणार
in
आयुष्यात
certain
कलेक्टर
team is
झालाय
in
न
surplus
झालायचं
or
कारण तुमचं
certain team is
रेग्युलर
in
नोकरी 10 वर्ष
deficit,
चालले
so
तुम्हाला
we
चांगला
can know
पगार
those things
झालेला आहे
and we
तर
can just
मग काहीच
shift
टेन्शन यायचं नाही ठीक आहे एक
have
आपलं
a
लागायचं
decision
ते
making
फ्रस्ट्रेशन
with
मध्ये
respect to
युपीएससी
that.
निघत नाही 25 नापास होतं कळलं आपलं काय होईना की 30 पर्यंत करत बसायचं
So
30 ला
about the
गेल्यावर कळतं
data.
आपलं काहीच नाही झालं
So what we
त्यापेक्षा
do
पहिले
is,
21
like
पासून
suppose
नोकरी 30 वर्ष 10
let's
वर्ष
take
घेऊन
one example,
2
like
तास युपीएससीचा
we
अभ्यास
are
करून 30
going
ला
to a
फर्स्ट
bank to
अटेम्प्ट
open
लास्ट
a
अटेम्प्ट
new
होणार
account.
काय करू
Okay, so we are
आणि काय फरक
understanding
पडत नाही
what
30
kind
झाला का
of
21 झाला
functions they really do, and what kind of
काय
team it
फरकच पडत
is,
नाही
and what
आणि तशी
kind of
तुझी काय एवढी अवकात
operations they
हुशार
do,
असतात तर पहिल्या
and
बॅचला
where
खाली
it is done, like
नाही का
it is done on site or it is done offshore, like that.
आपला
Then
आपला
drivers
म्हणजे
consideration,
32 ला झाला तर ते
understanding
अटेम्प्ट नाही का त्या
kind
वर्षी
of
वाढवलं
drivers which
आता
would
ते सगळं
which would
शिक्षक म्हणून गावाला लागलं तर एवढी त्याचं डोकं
impact
फिरलं
that
एवढं
account
फ्रस्ट्रेशन मध्ये
creation,
लागलं असं ना ते.
like
त्याचे
earlier
सगळे अटेम्प्ट
we are
संपले
having Ladki Bahin Yojana in
आणि त्या
Maharashtra
वर्षी एक
itself.
पोराने आत्महत्या केली हो
So
तिथे जाऊन
those things will be
डॉरपॉट हाऊसच्या बाहेर
influencing
पेटवून
the
घेतलं
number of accounting opening.
त्यामुळे
So that kind of drivers we need to consider in this study. And post
त्या
that
मागच्या वर्षी कोणी
whatever
बसले
the
ना त्या
drivers
पोरांच्या
and
attendance
whatever the teams we are having, so we need to identify those
साहेब,
tables and the
त्यामुळे
fields
आहे
into
झाला,
the data
किती
lake
झालं? त्याच्या
and
बाप
to
जन्मात
get
झाला.
that backend data
त्या वर्षी अपरिचित
from the
होतं.
team
आणि
itself.
त्या वर्षी होतं.
So this is the thing
भारतात
about
नाही
the
का ती
data,
शाळा
how
होतं.
we are approaching and what we are having.
तो गावची शाळेला शिक्षक म्हणून लागला होता
Post that, this is the methodology, how we are
अहो
doing
तर
this.
कशाला तुम्ही
So we are understanding again
ते आईबाप
the
नसल्यामुळे
function and
सगळ्याचे
what
ते
the
मार्क
team do,
एक्स्ट्रा मिळतात
and
तर
the
हे पोरग उद्या बसत होऊ शकतं
factors
40
which are
मार्क तर असेच
influencing the
मिळाले
workload for that
40
team,
मार्क
and
आपल्या
this is
पोरांना
nothing but the
पाडा
mandatory exploratory or phase or
हा
prerequisites
आईबाप
to
नसले ना
build any
तुम्ही
capacity
फायदा
plan.
घेतला 40 मार्क
Suppose that we are
मिळाले
understanding the data source and
आणि बापाने सोडलेली असेल
gathering
आईला
that data
10
from
मार्क
the
एक्स्ट्रा त्याचे मिळतात
particular area or
मग
database
त्यांच्या
or
मुलांना
particular
चांगल्या
point of
पदावर
contact.
नकोय जायला
Suppose that we are
तो
getting the
गायचा फाईन
utilization
गारून
factor,
नसताना
like
दिवस करून टाकतो त्यासाठी तो याने केलं
processing
ना
time for
दिवस
that
दाखवली
particular
बाई
transaction, then
दिवस
leaves
नाही का
like
दाखवला
that.
एकुलती
Okay.
हा खेडेकर
And
बापाचा दिवस
validating
दाखव 10
the
मार्क मिळण्यासाठी
data
हा असे
and
40 मार्क हा 20
and
मार्क आणि तुमच्या
assumptions if
IAS होणार
required
की
to be
IPS होणार
made
ठरवतं
with
20
the
मार्क
particular stakeholder.
लय अवघड आहे
And
50
then
मार्क
with
दिला
respect
फुकट
to that
मिळवले
data, we are
पीडब्ल्यूची
trying to
20 मार्क
forecast
आयबॉक सोडून गेल्याची 20 मार्क
with
आणि
different
रुई
sort of
लंगडीची वेगळे
models.
मार्क
Okay, and
असे
again, this
50
process
मार्क
can be
दाखवले
iterative as
आणि तरी
we
हैदराबाद
would be
रँक
having
आणला
a lot of back and forth over there,
हा म्हणजे
like how the stakeholder wants those results,
आयबॉक नसताना
like
पोरांना लय फायदे आहे मी
that.
गव्हर्नमेंट एक्झामला
And
40
also
मार्क गव्हर्नमेंट
while
अशी देते
doing this, we
आणि
need to
गेबी
consider
असेल
the
तर अजून
external
10 मार्क
parameters or
ते
understand
ती कुठली
the
नपुंसक असणार
future trends or checks like that.
आता
there
केलं ना
might be
पण
the
आणि
COVID
नपुंसक
scenario
लोक
we
पण
had,
आयस बनताय
so
तुम्ही
it might
साठ
change
मार्केट
some
साहेब
sort of impact over there.
साहेब
Okay,
नपुंसकला 60
there is
मार्क
some
आहेत
schemes which are
नाही
introduced by
सगळ्यांनी
government like
आलं
that.
युपीएससीत पण
Okay,
आलं
so estimate that impact of
अहो
the
एकच
future
नपुंसक होणार ना अख्ख्या
future
भारतात
changes, and
सगळे
with
नपुंसक
respect to
बसायला
that
लागले
we would be
परीक्षेला तर
adjusting
सगळे
the
कसे
forecast
होणार
for the capacity plan. Then we would be
एकासाठी
having the
करताय
first cut result, which would be shared to the management again. And
एकासाठी जे
again,
केले
we
तरी
would
खूप
be
होते ते नाही का
gathering the
नाही
data
माईक बंदच
like
करेल काय
current headcount for that particular
मग
team
परत
or
चालू
to
केला
do that
अजून
particular
म्हणून
transaction.
चालू केला नाही
And also we would
झालेच की
be
आम्ही दोन
having
तीन
the
पोरी
attrition,
माणसं
new
जे पण
hire,
नपुंसक होते ना
leaves like
बनले की
that
कलेक्शन
attributes to be accounted to formulate the
डंक
productive
करणारे
FT.
बनतायत बरोबर
Productive FT means nothing
काय
but
करणार
number of productive employees that
हा
particular team has. And with respect to
नाही आता
the
तुम्ही सांगा आता
capacity,
कसं परीक्षा बिरीक्षा
with
घ्यायचा
respect to the volume
कुठलं
or
प्रेशर घेताय
workload,
तुम्ही
we would be having some sort of demand, like
नागालँड मध्ये
this much
कुठलं प्रेशर
employees we would need to cater this
आता
kind
तो
of
नाही काम
demand.
आहे आपला
And productive FT would be
मम्मी तो
signifies
डॉक्टर बघ
what
त्याने
kind of
मस्त करिअर बिरिअर केलं
up to
बघा
what extent the workload the workforce we are
आम्हाला असं
having.
द्यायचंच नाही आयुष्यात
Okay,
कधी
and post
त्याला
that we would
आरामाची
be
नोकरी पाहिजे
comparing
ना
those
माहिती
things,
नाही का छत्तीसगडला
like
गेला
what sort of
पैसा नाही घ्यायचा मला छत्तीसगडला
what sort
पाठवा
of deficit or surplus we are
नागालँड
having,
पाठवा
and we would be establishing the process to get that data on the regular basis, so that we can we can we
सरकाराचं
can just
जावई
enhance
बनलो
our
का केलं
model,
मी
or
ताण नको
we can
म्हणून
make our
आणि
model
ताण घेऊय मी
more
आता
robust with respect to the um, with respect to the future
त्याला
tenure
नकोच आहे पगार
as well. And we would be tracking those things with the different
काय
parameters, like
गं
suppose we are having regression parameter over here, like number of transaction. So we would be having the R2 score
काय
like that,
लोकांना
and
आम्ही
we would
त्यांच्या
be
आवडती
analyzing
कामं
those
करण्यासाठी
forecasts
कलेक्टर
regularly
बनायचे
with the actual
पैशासाठी
one.
नाही बनायचं
And we would be sharing
आता
those
एका बाबाला
results
पीएचडी करायची ग
internally and
तर कुठली
externally,
प्रायव्हेट
and
नोकरी
update
केली
the
त्याला
forecast
करता
if
येणार नाही
necessary.
काय लोक
So
तर
this is
फक्त
all about
4-5 वर्ष
the
कलेक्टर बनतात की
methodology
आरामाची
what we are
नोकरी
doing
आराम
over here.
मिळाल्या डोक्याला काम करण्यासाठी त्यांचं आणि सोडतात आणि तिकडे
And
जातात
yeah,
अशी
this
पण
is
आहे आपल्या
this is
भारताची
the
लोक
insights
त्यांचा रिसर्च
which we have
करायचा असतो
got,
त्यांना त्यांना
rather
वेळ मिळत नसतो आणि पैसा
results
लागणार ना
which we
गिळायला
could see over here,
मग हे
like
करून परत निघून पण
as
जातात काय काय
as you know,
देवेंद्र
like
असं चिटकून बसलेले
we would be
आणि
able to
प्रत्येकाने आपल्या
reduce the
आत्मचिंतन
employee
करायचं नाही काय
burnout. So
मग तुम्ही
YOY
वैशाली टेस्ट ठेवत
employee
आपण
retention
असं
rate has been reduced,
वैशाली एलिजिबिलिटी टेस्ट
has been increased by
म्हणजे
8%, and there is reduction in operational cost by
वैशाली एलिजिबिलिटी टेस्ट पास
12.2% over
होणार ना
there.
ती मुलं आम्ही
And also,
ताई ऐकलं
as
का
we
ताई
are
त्याला
able
त्यांची
to
अवकात काय
able
त्यांनी
to foresee
फिजिक्सचा
what
अभ्यास
is
तर
coming,
करावा तुम्ही
so we would be
नसेल करावा ना
we were
तर
able
त्यांनी
to
करूच नाही अभ्यास पण करू नये
acquire some
आपल्याला आगाऊ
acquisitions.
शिकवून नाही आणि
And
आपण हेही
also,
करणार
like
मग
there was some
आपली कंपनी पण आहे का
waste
चला
reduction
येतो
as well,
स्वतंत्र
like
मांडायला
team goods, like that, like transport, then inventory,
कळलं
motion, over processing,
काय म्हणजे
and
कुठे
several
लागलं
other defects and all. So we would able to make those things, and tangible and intangible benefits have been achieved over there.
हे कधी पण होणार आहे
So yeah,
मोठ्या खांडीचं काय
this is
अरे बाबा
it
बासकी
from my
उद्या तोच
second
डोक्यात
case
आमच्या
study which we had done.
अरे काय सांगते
Okay.
ती
So yeah, any questions? Yeah, I know it is.
कोण तर लावतोय
I have given just overview what we are doing over here. So any questions with respect to that?
शीर आली आहे मला ओ मॅडम ती आमची एक बाई होती ओके नवीन भरती
Student side questions.
रिझल्ट चालू होती ना नोकरीला आम्ही तिला आम्ही काय म्हणलं ओ मॅडम
Online students.
मॅडम काय आहे म्हणते रे असं म्हणते का मी अहो सोडा ना काय झालं औषध असं शी लागली
Yeah, should I move
So
proceed?
Abhishek,
Yeah, please.
yes, Abhishek, it's a good presentation because it was told to you to work on the research design part considering two different applications.
Yeah.
And the applications also chosen are completely in line with the computer engineering application. So do you have references slide also?
Yeah, I do.
बघू तुला वाटत
I'm not having plenty of references.
माझं सोळा बदलेलं मी
Yeah,
Okay,
so
because-
these two papers.
रुपये असतात
Yeah, because this one is the paper which I have referred, but yeah, for second one I could not able to share some references over here.
तुझी सेवा
due to the
करायची.
security
Oh,
policies.
you
Sorry.
have taken the case study. Okay. Kind
Yeah.
of article. Okay.
Yeah.
ऑर्गनाईच्या राहते का तसं?
हो.
कुठं राहते?
Fine.
ते तर वेगळे राहतो
I'm having those things handy with me.
काय बोलते?
Yeah, if you want, we can have those
ते नाही
things as
एकत्र
well.
राहत. तिथे
ठीक
वेगळी
आहे.
वेगळी राहते
This is fine. Yeah. Okay. Yes. You can unshare your screen.
Sure.
नको ना
Thank you.
बघा माझ्यासोबत असं बोलते सर. करोड रुपये असताना परत म्हणले नाही
Yes,
जा घेऊ
Pragati.
शकता.
Please give me 2 minutes. I have to just bring my laptop charger. Okay. Till the time you can just share your screen.
मला काय
Okay.
माहिती ऑनलाईन फसवतील लोक घरात आपण ठेवलं तर नाही तिथं जाऊन खाल्ला नको ना अरे हे काय एवढं मजबूत राहिले व्हय. 26 वर्षाचं आहे हे पण आज एवढी लोक आली तिथे एवढी लोक आली
कुठं माहिती ना?
सारखी हो
कुठं टाटा हॉस्पिटलला?
काय माहिती दिल्लीला आहे ना टाटा
आला मुंबईत चढतोय तो ब्रिज कॅन्डी मध्ये.
तिथं थोडंच आता त्याला ठेवलंय का त्याला
नाही नाही,
अरे आणलं
पहिला मोदी त्याच्या श्वासावर मुतणार आहे. मोदी आणि आम्ही लागल्याशिवाय त्याची बॉडी काढत आहेत बॅग.
अरे आणली रे बाबा 9 वाजता आणली.
हो साहेब, त्याला तिरंगात लपटवणार आहेत माहिती ना? मग काय झालेलं अजून सगळे सरकारी हागायचे त्या तोंडावर. तर काय बाहेर सोडून काय मोदी येणार हो?
नाही येणार मोदी. ते सांगितलं ना मोदी तिथं सांगितलं अहो, नाही, नाही,
फंडिंग दिली नाही ना आता नाही ना.
कधी गोळा देतोय बापू
फंडिंग दिली नाही, फंडिंग दिली नाही तुम्हाला महादरची फंडिंग दिली नाही. टाटाने फंडिंग कुठे दिली? हे कार्यकर्ता करता धरता कार्यकर्ता आहे माझा. बाळासाहेबांच्या तर कुठं आलत मोदी साहेब? युती असताना आला नव्हता, त्यामध्ये शिवसेनेने बाहेरची युती होती. बंद करा होते आई जावड्याचं. आपल्याला काय फायदा नाही केला टाटाने. अख्खा टाटा ग्रुपचा आपल्याला विरोधक आहे. आपण त्या आई झवड्याला 12,000 रुपये गिळले चाले. त्याच्या आपलं त्याचे पैसे ते पण आपणच दिले. 33,000चं आपण भाडं भरलंय टाटा इंटरनेटचं. ते ज्याचं जळायला ती लाकडं लागणार आहेत ना साहेब, ते पण आपल्याच पैशावर जळतोय तो पण फुकट नाही जळते. त्याचे काय कौतुक करायचे? काय ग बाबू, कोणाचं नुकसान नाही झालेलं समोरून. ते पाखंडी लोकांचं नुकसान झालं. ते पोरा आता तर पोरग कोणाचं काम करणार का आम्ही? हा ते कुत्र नव्हतं का साहेब? ते कुत्र पाळणार नायडू नाही बे. हा ते आता त्याची नोकरी गेली ना साहेब आता. हा काय अरे पण त्याचा असिस्टंट होता ना तो, नाही का साहेब? आता त्याची नोकरी कुठे टाटा त्याने हायर केलता ना त्याला. आता एवढ्या कमी वयाच्या मुलाला कसा कोणाच्या जवळ तो उभा करतील, नाही का साहेब? हा बाबू,
Yes, Pragati. Start.
प्रगती कामावली.
Yes. Hello everyone. Today I will be presenting on research design. This topic is important because it provides a clear plan for how we collect. It provides a clear plan for how we collect, analyze, and interpret data, ensuring that our research is both reliable and valid. Here are the tables of contents. We will cover today introduction to research design, key components, types of research design, its applications like vaccine effectiveness and remote work, productivity, methodology, results, and conclusions. So I will start with introduction. Research design is like the backbone of any study. It ensures that we approach our data collection and analysis in a way that minimizes bias and
म्हणजे कळत
maximizes
नाही ना,
accuracy.
म्हणजे याला काही येत नाहीये.
It's the structure that allows us to
त्याला
conduct meaningful and trustworthy research.
ऍस्ट्रोलॉजीचं
Now
ऍस्ट्रोफिजिक्सचा.
we will see key
पण त्याला
components
कळलं
of
पाहिजे,
research
असंच त्यांनी
design.
समजवलं
The
पाहिजे
main
ना आम्ही.
elements of research design are
मी कसं
research
समजवतो अमितला?
research question. What do we want to find out? Then the hypothesis. Hypothesis is like the assumptions. What do we predict will
नाही
happen?
समजवतोय हो.
Then variables, independent and dependent variables.
माझी
What we change and what do we measure? Then data collection
सगळे बाद
methods,
झाले, पोरी
techniques
गेली
like
सांग.
surveys, interviews, or experiments. Samplings, choosing a representative group to study. Data analysis, the methods we use to interpret the data. Now we will see the types of the research design. There are different research designs, but today we are focusing on the quantitative research. This type deals with the numbers and measurable data, making it perfect for studies like vaccine trials or analyzing the productivity. Now we will see the first application, that is COVID-19 vaccine effectiveness. Real world A real world example of research design is the study of COVID-19 vaccine effectiveness. The researchers asked how effective is the vaccine. They gathered the data from the clinical trials where they compared vaccinated groups with placebo groups. And then the results showed that the vaccine was about 95% effective, reducing the risk of severe illness.
वुमन्स वर्ल्ड कप चाललाय ग बघू
These
आता.
studies inform global vaccination efforts.
आता चालू आहे वुमन्स वर्ल्ड कप.
Now we will see the second application, that is remote
तर मला
work and
डेटा अनालिसिस
productivity.
करायचंय ग बुबू. तुला काय
Another
वाटतं
example
बुबू
is the impact of remote work on
की आपण जर
employee
हमने
productivity.
किंवा
Researchers
बनवले
use quantitative methods to track
चालेल का
employee
आपल्याकडे?
output. They compared
हा.
productivity before and after the
म्हणून तर
shift to
कॉम्प्लेक्शन
remote
जास्त,
work.
मॅनिप्युलेशन कमी होणार
They
ना बुबू.
found out that while some employees were more
Output आहे ते
productive
astrology.
at home, others faced
Astrophysics
distractions. Overall, there wasn't a major difference in the productivity between
Astrophysics
remote
म्हणजे
and
काय
office work.
फिजिक्स आणि ऍस्ट्रॉनॉमी,
Uh,
प्लॅनेट्स कुठे आहेत ते असे का
Now the
फिरतात,
methodology
त्यांच्यावर कुठला
and the
फोर्स चालू
data
आहे
gathering.
ते
In
समजून
both
सांग.
studies,
लय अवघड आहे ऍस्ट्रोफिजिक्स. असं साधं फिजिक्स कळणं लोकांना ऍस्ट्रोफिजिक्स समजणं, म्हणून तर ते पाचवीच्या मुलांना शिकवतोय ना तो. हे माझं एवढं सोपं करून सांगणार मी, की पाचवीच्या मुलाला ऍस्ट्रोफिजिक्स करणार.
the
त्यासारखं टीचर
methodology
जगात
was
बनणार नाही.
crucial for the COVID-19 vaccine. They used randomized
मला
controlled
शिकवायला आलं.
trials to avoid bias.
हा. त्यांनी तसेच रिसर्च
For
पेपर तेवढे सोपे लिहिले
remote work,
म्हणतात
they used
की लहान मुलांना
time
नाही
tracking
कळलं.
tools and employee surveys
अशा
to
त्यांनी
gather
कामं
the
केली
detailed
पाहिजे.
information.
तो काय बाबा सांग मी कुत्र आहे
Now we will see the result.
असं समजून
The
सांग.
COVID-19
तो ट्रेनिंग
vaccine
आम्ही त्या
was
कुत्र्यावर
shown to
करायचं.
be the
त्याच्या
90%
कुत्र होतं का
effective in
त्या
preventing
कुत्र्याला समजून
severe
सांगायचं
illness,
आम्ही.
while the
म्हणजे
impact
कुत्र्याला
of remote work
त्याला
on
मी समजून
productivity
सांगू
was
शकतो.
mixed,
एवढं आढळ
suggesting
समज
the
मला
need
आणि समजून
for
सांग.
flexible work
असं
policies
त्याचं म्हणणं
in the
होतं का आम्ही.
future. Conclusion.
मिलिंद डॉलर कंपनीचा मालक आहे, मी त्याच्या फॅमिलीला
Conclude,
बोलवतो कंपनीत
research
लॉस
design
करतो
is the
अनालिसिस
essential
करायला.
for drawing valid
तो सांगतो
conclusions.
मला मला
It
कुठली
allows
औषध
us to
वापरू.
tackle important
एक
questions,
कुत्र्याशी
whether it's
बोलतोय तो धरतीवरच्या,
about
त्याला काय
vaccine
कळत नाही, त्याला
effectiveness
सांगितलं
or
कसं सांगशील
workplace
तसं सांग म्हणतो. एकदम मंद समज
productivity.
मला नंबर मध्ये खेळू नको. कारण का बरेच लोक सर आपलं टॉप लाईन आहे ना सर, बॉटम लाईन मेन मुद्दा सोडून सगळं शब्द वापरतात
These are
ना.
the references,
5 मिनिटात कळलं
and
पाहिजे मी काय झालं प्रॉब्लेम.
now
तर त्यांनी
I
सांगितलं
would be
साहेब
happy if you have
MHB
any
नावाचे शेअर
questions.
घेतले होते का मी त्याने, माहिती तुला MHB.
Okay, Pragati, what was the methodology
काय
in the
असतं माहिती
first
का
paper?
एक मिनिट पॉज करा ना तुझं.
Yes, ma'am.
हो झालं पण बेंच तुझं काय पण म्हणले बस झालं. अगं मल्टिपल
They used the randomized controlled trials with the patients.
बिस्किटच्या फराचं म्हणलं,
They
तोंडाचं
take the
म्हणलं,
group of
काय
different
म्हणलं.
different
सगळ्यांचे
ages
बंद
of
होते.
people
सगळ्यात
and
जास्त
conduct the
बुडवायची
study
शक्यता
on
कोणाची आहे?
that.
तुझी आहे ना. आणि मी एक
Okay, what are the methods to be used for the analysis
पासपोर्टचं बंडल
purpose?
घेतलं.
Any
म्हणजे मी
statistical
पासपोर्ट
measures are
आणि मला
used?
बंडल मिळालं. आता फायदा काय नुकसान दोन्ही आहे ना. आता बघा बंडल मध्ये काय झालं, त्यातले आता माझ्या बंडल मध्ये किती
Can
चांगले
you
लोक
repeat
किती
the
मला
question,
माहितीच
ma'am?
नाही ना. अच्छा म्हणजे
What
5
are
फुटचं
the
बंडल घेतलं का आम्ही?
like
5 फूट
analysis?
100
What are
लोकांना पण
the
वाटू
tools
शकतो
used for the
आणि ते एका
analysis
माणसाला पण देऊ
purpose?
शकतो. बंडल आहे ना आम्ही. तर हा सगळ्यात लोएस्ट बंडलचा फॉर्म्युला आहे आणि हा बुडवायची शक्यता जास्त आहे. मग तोही कचरा मला मिळालाच असेल नाही का? असे बंडल
Okay.
साठले
And how
सगळ्याकडे.
many
सगळ्याकडे
trials
चुकीचे
are
बंडल साठले.
conducted?
जो बिलियनर होता ना साहेब त्याकडे सगळा कचरा लोकांचा बंडल साठला होता की जे बुडवायची
Three,
शक्यता
three
जास्त
rounds of 3 phases,
तो काय म्हणला ओपन मार्केटमध्ये विकून
3
टाकायला.
phases.
ते
And
100
how
कोटीचे
many
बंडल साहेब 70
participants
कोटला विकले.
were
30
there?
कोटलाच घेतला त्याने पण कचरा सगळा विकून टाकला.
50, 50
मला काढून ते नाही बघू तो.
participants, each with 3
मला काढून
phases.
का नाही दिलं बघू
Yeah.
फक्त आता चांगलं आहे
Okay.
चांगलं आहे.
And what
आणि
is the
आता
method
ध्यान
used
करते रे काम
for
किती
data
द्या तिथं नाही का
collection?
जॉन दिवस
Under
त्याला
what
किती शॅम्पे
type it is?
देशीच प्यायचे गट्ट्यावर जाऊन तसे
नाही चुकून निघालं माझ्या.
चुकून. काय आज कोण नव्हतं
मला
काढतं
इथं
का?
काढलं ना तर ते निघायला लागलं तर मग काढायला केलं असतं ना ते.
दे.
Which data? Data collection method. What is the type of data?
अंदाजे?
Primary data like surveys or interviews, experiments. Okay.
नाही आलं की नाही बघते. खरं दिसत नाही आलं.
And is there mention vaccine
अहो
vaccine
एक
type
थेंब पण खूप असू शकतो ताईचा थेंब आहे ना तो.
in the paper?
आले एक थेंब आला तर खूप
No,
आलं.
ma'am. It's
अहो ते बाईच्या हातात
general.
रक्त काढत होते. अरे बाई किती मारतेस पिन.
Okay. Come to the next paper.
लॅब मध्ये
Just
का
open the next
मुलींना ते
paper.
नाही का रक्तचा थेंब बघायला.
Description.
तर त्यांचा काढून देत नाहीत ना शिक्षकीचा काढा म्हणतात. ते बाईने बोट
Okay. Over here also, what type of data collection method used?
चटकन नाही का पिन मारायचे असते बघा.
Primary.
अरे
So that
झपकन
is
त्याने
again by
मारलं. अरे
taking
बाबा
surveys
बोटच
and
तो
all.
जाता माझं.
Yeah. How many data? What is the statistics of data? 20. 20. So is it enough to make a good conclusion, to reach to the good conclusion?
No, but it's on small scale. That's why.
So what is the type of data collection used? As you mentioned, it's a primary data type, right? So in this case, overall data is very less, right? So come to the methodology section. Next slide.
कुछ भी नहीं आता है इनको तो.
So here it is mentioned that a sample of employees from different departments is selected. What is the sampling method used?
निघ ना काय मी तुला एक तासापूर्वी सांगितलं होतं.
Random sampling, and the sample size is 20, right?
That number, I'm not sure with that number actually.
So the overall data is of 20. Population is of 20.
काय म्हणते ते तर रोज दाबायला लागते. आता तू
I'm not
म्हणत
sure
निघते
about
का
that.
मग साहेब आता म्हणजे चल मग.
Okay.
काय पाणी तर घे चला खाली गेली ऑटोमॅटिक बरा.
Okay, go to the reference slide.
मला त्रास व्हायला लागला हो गुदमरायला लागला.
The title is really good. The second title, but more focus should be on methodology section. If the statistical analysis has been done, just highlight that part also because it comes under design part. At least what are you
Oh,
going to
shit.
do? It comes under design part.
Shit.
So if you could focus on these,
गेली
but the
कशी आम्हाला?
titles are you have selected are very good, and these papers are very good for the understanding of research design for the methodology, research methodology.
मेथोडॉलॉजी हा शब्द म्हणजे लग्न करायचं माणसाचं मेथोडॉलॉजी करायचं नाही तर लग्न
Should I
सोडून
stop the screen, ma'am?
शिक्षणामध्ये.
Yeah, and share your screen.
बघा ना मेथोडॉलॉजी वेगळा शब्दाचा अर्थ काय.
Okay, students, let's continue with the discussion.
हायपोथेसिस.
Last time, I think we have gone in detail of all the research process in brief, right? And now, today I'm starting with the hypothesis testing part. Okay,
मेथोडॉलॉजी
let me share my screen.
मेथोडॉलॉजी मेथोडॉलॉजी त्याशी ज्याने लग्न नाही
Is
केलं
my
तर
screen visible?
तो भिकारीच राहिला.
Pragati, is my screen visible?
येस मॅम.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah, as we discussed earlier also in the discussion, that hypothesis is basically a simple statement or assumption which may or may not be true, but not both, right? Either I'm writing an expression or a statement or a proposition which says that this particular system work under what condition, or this system will not work under other condition, will not the same condition. So in a way, I'm writing my proposition, I'm writing an hypothesis. So hypothesis is always to be made for the population parameter. So population means the entire collection of data, entire
माझ्या वयात असं ठीक होतं
the
तरी
data
माझं अजून लग्न
set
नाही
taken
झालं.
into
मग
consideration.
50च्या
So
वयात
if I'm
मग
making a
गाईचं दूध पिलं
statement
म्हणजे
of
लयच
finding
बालिश
out,
होतं.
if I'm writing a statement of girls are getting, the smoking percentage of
पण नेता म्हणण्याचं
male is
लायकीचं
greater
नाहीच
than
आहे
female
मेट्रो
in the category of 30 to 40 years in
पाखंडी नाही ना
Maharashtra.
त्याचं पण
So this is what a statement which is made on the entire
डोसे
population,
देते आईला
right?
ओळख
So
खायला.
this is always to be made for the population parameter. It is assumption made in order to arrive at a decision regarding the population through the sample of assumption. So
मला
it's not
उठायचंय मग.
always possible to work on the population data to check whether the hypothesis is true or not. So what we are doing is we are making a decision by taking a sample from the population, and we are trying to see whether my hypothesis is coming true or false for the selected sample. A hypothesis should be specific, clear, and precise. This is very
कळलं
important.
मेट्रोला.
You have to always in line with the research problem statement for which you
A
are
way of
working on.
doing
It has to be
something
very specific,
based
clear, and
on
precise. It should state the relationship in between
आता
the
तुम्ही नाही
variables.
करे.
So whenever I'm saying that there is a smoking percentage of
असं
male
नाही
and
होऊन
female,
चालत.
so it shows a
मेट्रोलॉजी
relationship
असते.
in between
सुरुवात
male and
पासून काय
female in
लागतं
Maharashtra
असं
region.
उठलं आणि
So
पायथन
this
शिकलं
always
उठलं
state
आणि
the
टॅबलेट शिकलं
relationship.
नोकरी नाही
It
लागत
should
त्याने. आपल्या पोरांना मेट्रोलॉजीच नाही मेट्रोलॉजी लग्न केलं तर करिअर होतोय.
testing
मेट्रोलॉजी कुठून काय लागतं
otherwise
तेवढं
you
शिकायला
won't be
पाहिजे.
getting
बस
very
आपल्याला दिसलं
important.
की करा दिसलं की करा नाही चालत.
Here
ज्याला
in the
मेट्रोलॉजी
rating,
जमली
I
नाही
have made
आयुषीत
a
पण
statement of
मेट्रोलॉजीच
saying
आहे.
that a person more than 50 years, male or female, are having higher chances of getting COVID-19 disease or something like that.
अरे बस कर
Or
यार
maybe,
कोविड नाव घेतलं की डोकं फिरतं.
yeah,
मला
maybe
नाही
the person
काय
who is
सांगू यांचं?
diabetic
डबल
are
सक्सेस नाही झाली.
having higher chance of affecting for the COVID-19. So this may be my hypothesis. So let's go in detail of explaining how the hypothesis testing is actually works. So these are few terms which are very important to understand to start with the testing part. The one is called as a population, where we do have all possible values. A sample
हे
is
कुठं
basically a
चाललंय?
portion of the population. It's
हो.
just a representative
मम्मा
subset of
इकडं
a
कोविड
population.
मग मी त्याला एक्झाम करत
Statistical
नव्हतो.
inference is
मग
basically a
डोकं फिरतंय कोविडचं नाव
generalizing
काढलं कोणतं.
from a sample to
तुला पण असंच
population
होतं ना बाबा?
with calculated degree of
माझं मर्डर
certainty. So we are going to
करावं असं
see what is
वाटतं
the degree
मला.
of
तुला
certainty.
त्रास
We'll
कशाचा
see
होता
in
माहिती का
detail.
मम्मी?
There are two
त्याचे माझं
forms
आतनं
of
खराब
a
झालंय.
statistical
एवढं
inference. The one is hypothesis testing and
आणि
estimation. We
आता
are
ते
working on
रिपेअर करायला आपल्याकडे
we'll
पैसे नाही.
discuss hypothesis testing in
म्हणून तर
detail.
राग येतो ना.
Then there are two important terms which are very
आता
important,
जगणार की
very
मरणार हे पण माहिती.
essential to understand the hypothesis testing. The one is called as a parameter, and the other one is called as statistics. When I'm talking about parameter, it actually signifies the population. So by using mean, mu is a symbol for it, while
ताई
statistic is
म्हणाला
basically
चष्मा कुठून
represented by
येते?
statistical mean
नाटक
by
करायला.
x bar. So in a way, it represents the always representing a mean for the sample.
बुबू
So that is
मला लय
called as a
त्रास होतोय.
statistics, and the parameter is always talks
अगं ही
about
बाई
the
कुडू
population
कुडू
mean.
करते.
So these
आम्हाला
are
कुडू
few
कुडू कुडू बोललं की
terms
त्रास
which
होतोय.
is which you should
कोविड नसतं तर
know
माझं सगळं वेगळीच
is
स्थिती होती. ग बस ना मग आता
population,
नको सांगू
which is a parameter to be
काय
used.
बोलू नको ग मला त्रास होतोय.
नाही बोलत. आणि तुला त्रास होणार नाही, खूप गोष्टी लिहिलेल्या वाचायच्या. लिहिलेल्याच नाही. मला तर कळून चुकलंय ह्या तुझ्या वाढदिवसानंतर. की आपल्या बोलण्याला काही अर्थ नाही.
Yeah.
कितीही बोंबललं तर
So
माणूस बोलतोच
the
म्हणून. आता काय
population
बोलू बोलायचं
population
असेल
is
तर गप्प
used. The
बस.
parameter is used as a population mean. The statistics is used as a sample mean.
हा ना.
The notations are mu and x bar. Vary the parameters. Mu will not vary. The parameters
आवाज
calculation will
आहे.
not changed. While in case of statistics, it may vary or may be calculated because it depends on the sample which you are extracting, which you are taking from the population. This diagram is very important. You have a population, you are taking a sample, you are working on the data, you are performing the statistical analysis, checking your hypothesis testing, conducting your hypothesis testing, and inferring the population parameter. So these steps are very important in case of hypothesis testing. So you're talking about the population parameter by taking the sample and working on the sample data. Okay. Understood, online students? Yes or no? Okay. So what is hypothesis testing? Hypothesis testing is a process of testing significance which concern with the testing of some hypothesis regarding parameter of the population on the basis of statistics from the population. The same thing which is described in the diagram. Just go through these statements.
I love you. अंडे
Hypothesis is basically
पाउडर
finding out the hypothesis
टिट्टों में खुजली है.
truthness regarding the population parameters on the basis of sample statistics which is extracted from the population. Please note this definition of hypothesis testing.
घालून बघितलं का तू? आधी कपडे धुवायला गेले मी. तू आज काय एवढा उशीर का करते मी?
Okay, so there are two types of hypothesis which we are going to work on in case of hypothesis testing. We have discussed it earlier also. Null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis or alternate hypothesis. So what is a null hypothesis? Null hypothesis is always start with the claim with no difference or starting with no. Meaning that convert the research questions every time, whatever the research questions which you have to convert these research questions into null and alternate hypothesis. So what is null hypothesis? Null hypothesis is basically defined as there is a no difference in the population, or there is the average people age is not 40 or less than 40 or greater than 40, whatever it is. So no difference in the age group, or the male and female percentage are same. There is no difference in the male and female percentage. So like this, the null is defined. Now, whenever I'm saying null, null hypothesis is always denoted by HA, which says that it is a negation of your null hypothesis, saying that the claim H0 is false. So whenever I'm saying that there is no difference in the population, then I can say that yes, there is a difference in the population. Is my alternative hypothesis. So for example, if I'm saying that the average age of a person for doing some task is 50 years, is my null hypothesis. My alternate hypothesis is not 50 years, less than 50 years maybe, or greater than 50 years. So it has to be written in this form, whether not equal to or less than or greater than. So this is called as an alternative hypothesis. Okay. So collect the data, seek evidences against H0 as a way of writing your HA. So I mean you're deducting this, or you're applying the deduction by saying that my HA has to be true. Okay. Now population mean, as we say, that it's denoting by population value x bar mu, and over here is x bar or mu. It's a population which is representing the sample mean value. Okay. So here I have given two examples, which are saying that if I have a simple statistic data where there is a population mean given to you and there is a sample mean, which you are calculating. Okay. Hypothesized mean is basically a mean which you are working on the sample. So that's why it is called as a hypothesized, which is mu. So my null hypothesis is that there is no difference in my population mean and sample mean. That's saying that mu is equal to mu. So it's called hypothesis. My alternate hypothesis may be my mu is less than mu 0, mu is greater than mu 0, or mu is not equal to mu 0. So in a way, I can define my hypothesized mean. For example, if I'm having this example where in US, 20 to 29-year-old men had mean body weight of 170 pounds. The standard deviation was 40 pounds. We test whether the mean body weight in the population is differ or not. Okay. So what was given over here? It was given that in 20 to 29-old men, having the body weight mean is 170 pounds. So what is my null hypothesis? My null hypothesis is nothing but my mu is equal to 170. So I'm saying that yes, it is true. There is no difference. My alternate hypothesis may be I do have my mean value maybe greater than 170 or less than 170 or not equal to 170. Normal deviation झालाय का तुमच्या क्लासमध्ये? ते आपल्याला लागेल याच्यासाठी. मी थोडंसं एक एक्झाम्पल घेते. बी मध्ये झालं पण आता बाकी सगळ्यांचं ठीक आहे. आपण एक एक्झाम्पल घेऊया, त्याच्याशिवाय करणार नाही. Side test. Okay. So alternate hypothesis, I may can write that mu is less than 170, mu is greater than 170, or mu is not equal to 170. So whenever it is mu is not equal to 170, it has less than greater than, and so it's test. While it is specifically less than, so it is tested. It is greater than, so it is tested. Okay. So we'll see how it is been done. So before going in detail of it, let me first tell you what is normal deviation. Because this is very important to know. I think I have a slide on data. I think, yeah. Is my screen visible, online students? Mean वगैरे सगळं झालंय क्लासमध्ये. 5 number summary. परत घेण्याची गरज नाहीये. आय होप
आमचं सगळं डिग्रीला शिकून झालंय. आम्ही काय करायला आलं
नाही झालंय का? मी शॉर्ट मध्ये घेऊन टाकते कारण त्याच्याशिवाय कळणार नाही. Okay, so basically how do I represent my data? How do I describe my data? So to describe my data, I need understanding of data is very important. So for understanding of data, केलंय ना? ठीक आहे. Central tendency variation and spread is to be very important. So for that purpose, what we do is we calculate a mean, and we calculate there are different techniques of mean. Mean is just take an average of elements divided by total number of elements, right? But mean is really a good way to describe a data. No, because you may have a sample or you may have the data which is coming as outlier in the data itself, and because of which you are not getting the correct mean value, and for which you will land up with the incorrect representation of data. So for that purpose, there are other type of statistical measures as well, which is median mode. Median is basically giving you the middle value. And if I have a range value, the interpolation can be calculated. The mode value is basically the element which is describing or which is occurring more frequently in the data. You can calculate a mode accordingly, right? And then these are few examples of symmetric and skewed data. So whenever I'm saying my data is symmetric, this diagram is very important for hypothesis testing as well. Whenever I'm saying that data is symmetric, where I have my three values coming same, which is mean, median, and mode. Okay. So my median is representing the middle value, and mode is representing the value which is occurring multiple times in the given data. If I'm having the value same, then the data is symmetric. Positively skewed whenever my mode is less than median, which is less than the mean value. So mean, these two values are less than mean, it is called as a positively skewed. And whenever these two values are greater than mean value, then it is called as a negatively skewed. So in simple terms, negatively skewed, most of the data is basically available in the proportion coming later. I mean, if I'm having the data which is what I mean to say that if I'm working on the employee salary option, my middle salary or my mean salary is, let's say, 50,000. I'm working on the salary data, but most of the data samples are having more than 50,000, and very less samples are there which is under the category of less than 50,000. So in that case, it is rightly skewed data, because all the values of mode and median are coming after mean value. In the same case, if I'm having the case where there are multiple values of less than 50,000 employee salary data which is available, then it comes under the positively skewed data. I hope you're getting this. Then this is called as a 5-number summary IQR. I'm not taking much time in this because you have other subjects also, like databases and data management and all, where you have to do clearly this. But for understanding of hypothesis testing, you should know what is mean, how do I calculate a standard deviation, how do I calculate a variance. So variance calculation is very important. Now we say that the mean value is basically giving you the average of the elements which are there in the data set. Okay, but because of this, we won't be getting good representation of data, because there are multiple elements maybe coming as an outlier which are having very less value or very greater value. So for that purpose, what we do is we calculate the dispersion by using variance and standard deviation. So variance, what it does, it takes the difference of all elements from its mean value and divide by total number of samples. So this gives you the variance score, which is nothing but xi minus x square. It's a square summation of square plus the mean value divided by n minus total number of samples. As we are working on the sample, so we generally consider it as a n minus 1. But for the population, we take entire sample into consideration. And standard deviation is a square root of variance. Okay. So this is 5-number summary which you are supposed to construct to identify the outliers that you will study in detail in the other subjects. Okay. So coming to the normal distribution curve. So normal distribution, when I'm saying that, then I do have some of the samples which are coming near to mean, but some samples are apart from the mean. So we wanted to fit in a way that I should get my data in the correct quality data. To get a quality data, I should have this type of a ratio, which is 68%, 95%, and 99.7%. So all my data which is coming under this category will be considered as a quality data only. So for example, in the first case, I do have mu minus standard deviation. Mu is my mean. Minus standard deviation. Standard deviation is all the samples from it. So here I will always use, because they are near the mean. And if I'm taking two standard deviation apart, which is mu minus 2 standard deviation and mu plus 2 standard deviation, that comes under the next 95%, and then 3 standard deviation apart will come in the 99.7%. So this way we describe the normal distribution curve. So no matter what your mu value and standard deviation are, but the area in between one standard deviation apart is 68%, two standard deviation apart is 95%, and three standard deviation apart is 99.7%. So almost all the values fall within the three standard deviation. So whenever you have your data available with you, always what we do is we apply different pre-processing, we remove noise, and we try to make its normal curve. We should get a quality data. We should get the data in the normal curve in order to get the quality decisions. So this is what is 68%, 95%, and 99.7%. One example which is given over here for some sports data, the mean value of weight of women is 127.8 pounds. The standard deviation is 15.5. So over here, 127.8 is the standard, is the mean value. Whatever the data, which is 15.5. So 127.8 minus 15.5 and plus 15.5 will come in this particular area. So whatever the data which is available, it's 68%. So you can calculate the data as well. You will always get it 68%. Yeah. So 68% of this is 82. So under this category, you are almost getting 79 runners. Then the next one is two standard deviation apart. If I take a difference of this, I should get it two standard deviation apart. So it is 104, 115 is the difference which we are getting, and it's a 95%. So almost the same. And in the third category, we are getting all the samples, which is coming 81.3 and 174.3, which is coming as 109. So almost 120 runners are coming in the three standard deviation of the mean. So whatever the data which is available, it should be within three standard deviation from the mean value to get it in the normal distribution. So this is all about the normal distribution. Let me know if you have any difficulty.
Yeah, elephant isn't shown.
Online students understood?
लय घोळ येतोय खाली, याच्यापेक्षा जास्ती घोळ येतोय, खूपच घोळ येतोय त्याला. 37 ठेवा. लय घोळ येतोय.
मला हे बोर्डवर शिकवायला सांगितलं.
नाही, मी इथंच बांधते.
Okay. So let's work on the second parameter, which says that type 1 and type 2 error.
एवढंच पाहिजे.
Before going in detail of it, let me take a minute.
कमी झालं
Another
तर
slide,
चालतंय.
just सगळं लिहिलेलं आहे, ते सोपं पडेल. Yeah, these are few examples which we have. Let's say my null hypothesis is that the method A and B are equally good for certain disease is my null hypothesis. So what is my alternative hypothesis? Alternative hypothesis is always negation of null hypothesis. So maybe I can say that A is superior than B or B is superior than A. So it is called as alternate hypothesis. Now, in terms of mean, if I have a mean value available with me and I'm saying I'm making a statement for my population, so I can say that the population mean and hypothesized mean are same. But if I'm rejecting my hypothesis, what I have to do is I have an alternative hypothesis which says that my population mean is not equal to hypothesized mean. It is greater than hypothesized mean, and it is less than the hypothesized mean. Okay. The same thing, mu is equal to mu 0, mu is 50, age 50 is, mu is not equal to 50, less than equal 50 and greater than 50. Now, here we come to the next part of the discussion. I don't know whether it is, okay, let us start with the making a statement where I do have 4 cases. What are those 4 cases? That my hypothesis is actually true or my hypothesis is actually false. So what is the actual case? That I should accept my H0 or my reject my H. And what is my decision or the system decision or based on the data which you have is let's accept H0 and reject it. Actually, we should accept the H0. This is what my based on the situation. And the decision of your system is again accept H0 or reject H0. Now, in the first case, whenever I'm saying that I'm accepting my H0 when it is actually true, in my first case, there are no errors in this case, right? I'm accepting the H0, which is actually true, but I'm not accepting the In the second case, what I'm doing is rejecting the H0, but it was actually true. So in that case, there are errors. Right? So this error is called as a type 1 error. So what is a type 1 error? Type 1 error is that I'm rejecting the hypothesis when it is actually true. Then it is called as a type 1 error. So type 1 error is basically defined by probability, which is alpha. Right? So I'm rejecting my hypothesis when it is true, it's alpha. What is this value? It's a probability. So the probability, अगर इसका 1% है, तो बाकी accept करने का probability will be 99. मतलब 0.1 से रसे तो 0.99. So in that case, probability is become as 1 minus L. Understood? In the actual situation when my null hypothesis is true. In the other case, when my hypothesis is true, I should write the hypothesis. I'm accepting my hypothesis, but actually the hypothesis is false, but even though it is getting accepted, so that is called as a type 2 error. The probability of this is defined as beta, and it's a wrong decision. Okay. What is the probability of rejecting H0 when it is actually false? There is no error. Whenever it is beta, it's a probability, so this value is beta. Right? Okay. So what is alpha? Alpha is basically the probability when I am rejecting my null hypothesis when it is actually true. Is my alpha. What is my beta value? Beta value is when I am accepting my hypothesis when it is false. When it is false, when H0 is false, this H1 is true. Right? It is called as a beta. Please let me know, online students, have you understood this part? Yes. कुणाला डाउट नाही आहे समजलंय का? So if I'm saying my type 1 error is 0.5%, it means that type 1 error is I'm rejecting the hypothesis when it is actually true. So it means that there are 5 chances in 100 that this condition is going to happen. But in that case, remaining 95%, I'm getting a good decision. Okay. Similarly, if I'm having type 2 error, 0.01, it means that there is only one chance whenever I'm accepting my hypothesis when H0 is false. So it means that for remaining 99%, 99 data, 99 chances in 100, I'm accepting the null hypothesis or I'm rejecting the null hypothesis when it is actually false. So in a way, I define the value of type 1 error and type 2 error. Okay. Please confirm, online students, let me know.
Beer oder Wein? Ja, danke.
So the level of significance. So that type 1 error actually defines the level of significance for the hypothesis testing, which says that it denotes the type 1 error, which is alpha. Alpha means rejecting the null hypothesis when actually hypothesis is true. Then it is called as a significance level. So for example, the significance level is 0.05, indicates that 5% risk of concluding that the difference exists when there is no actual difference. So we are just taking a significance. We are making that particular margin or the label. Ki, okay, 0.05 is my acceptance level. But it means that for the remaining 95%, I'm confident that I'm going to get a correct decision. So the probability of getting correct decision is 1 minus alpha. And when there is no level of significance mentioned in the problem statement, you should ideally take alpha value is equal to 0.05. This is the table, and then we are coming to the critical section part. Till this point, have you understood? Let me know. I can repeat some of the part.
Kaffee, bitter. Kaffee, bitter.
Yes, online students. Pragati, is this clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, let's go in detail of defining the level of significance and identifying whether my hypothesis is coming true or not based on these parameters. Okay, so what is critical region? Critical region is basically a region corresponding to a statistic. Statistic is basically defining your sample, which amount to rejection of null hypothesis H0. What is the amount of rejection of my null hypothesis H0, which is called as the region of rejection? Okay, so we'll make use of standard normal deviation curve and define the alpha value. Okay, in my first case, when I have my mu is less than mu0, I define it in the normal curve in a way that I do have my certain value of, let's say, mu is less than mu0, which means that population mean is less than your sample mean. Okay, so whatever the, I mean, if the age is equal to 50, is my null hypothesis, my alternative hypothesis is less than 50,
or greater than 50. So I do have these two value defined. Okay. So corresponding to the data which we have, corresponding to the mean value which we have, corresponding to the standard deviation, there are certain values which define you which gives you the critical value. So this critical value are very important in corresponding to left tail test, right tail test, and two tail test. Okay. In case of left tail test, which is denoted over here is critical value. These are standard value that I will give you when we solve the example. Okay. Mu is less than mu 0, so it comes in the left side part. And whatever till the critical value, my mu is going to get less than mu 0, which is called as a error in my given set. The remaining part is called as a 1 minus alpha, which is where we do have a region of acceptance. Okay. In the similar case, if my mu is greater than mu 0, it will come at the right side. Alpha will come at the right side, and the remaining part is acceptance region is 1 minus alpha. Okay. And this is what is the critical value, which is the standard value, which we supposed to check it with the statistic value. If it is coming greater than that, then whatever the date, what you have to reject your null hypothesis. If it is coming in this particular region, then you have to accept your hypothesis. Okay. In the similar case, if I have directly the statistics which is saying that it is less than or greater than, then I do have a critical region describing in both the sections, left as well, right. And the left and right are equally distributed. So alpha by 2 to the left side, alpha by 2 to the right side, and the critical value will be negative and positive. And the remaining region is called as acceptance region. So if your value of statistics coming in this particular region, which is less than your critical value, then you have to accept your null hypothesis. Otherwise, reject the null hypothesis. So region of critical region by describing these set of rules. Let me know whether it is understood by you or not. Let me know this. Yes. So we have a data available with you. We do have this statistics mu, and we do have a mean value which is given to you. Sample mean दिलेला असेल, population mean दिलेला असेल. Now आता मी काय करणार, based on मला जे पण availability आहे, मी statistics apply करणार. So statistics चे वेगवेगळे methods आहेत. If you have your data only in terms of when certain values are available, when small scale data is at t-test you can apply. So the statistic you can apply. So statistic apply केल्यावर we'll get some value. This value we have to check with the critical value. If it is coming less than that value, then it will be in the acceptance region for the one tail test. Otherwise, it will, if it is less, then it will be in the, it is in the rejection area. So we have to calculate this statistic value based on the method which you have chosen based on the data. For example, you make it clear here, sir. लेवल ऑफ सिग्निफिकन्स आपल्याला माहिती आहे. सो क्रिटिकल व्हॅल्यू जनरली काय असते, एक स्टँडर्ड व्हॅल्यू असते, ते तुमच्या लेवल ऑफ सिग्निफिकन्सवर डिपेंड असते आणि तुमच्या मीन व्हॅल्यूवर, जे तुमच्या या टेबल्समध्ये आहेत. दीज टेबल्स आर अवेलेबल इन बुक बॅक साइड पेजेस. So you will get this, let's say 4.96 is the critical value considering the 0.01 or depend on the value. Let's say 0.02 is my critical value. For this sample, it is as 0.34. And if you are getting your statistics value is 0.6, then it will come in the acceptance region. So in a way, you have to apply the statistics. We'll take few examples.
अरे यार चूती आहे मी. मोबाईल तिकडे राहिला.
कधी आहे किती हो माझा 11 वाजता लागेल करेल
म्हणजे मी सीसी पण ठेवली त्यांना सेंड करायला सांगितली मला मेलला
ठीक आहे चालेल हो हो okay so what is the procedure for hypothesis testing we have seen that there are few terms which we have to take into consideration we'll go through step one by one okay नाही सगळं तुम्ही किती रजिस्टर करता त्याच्यावर असते समजा
पण तिथे मेन्शन असतं ना रजिस्ट्रेशन मध्ये की ऍप्लिकेशन केलेले स्टुडंट्स
Okay, so first one is first write the hypothesis. पहिली step is state the hypothesis. Okay, then the second one is based on the hypothesis. So suppose I'm saying that age of a person is 50%, so accordingly 50 years for certain tasks. So I'm writing my hypothesis like that, and my alternative hypothesis is not equal to. So whenever I'm saying not equal to, it is two tail test. If I'm saying less than 50, then it is left tail test. If I'm saying greater than, then it is right tail test. This is first step. The second step, you have to select the significance level. Generally, it is available, it is given to you. Otherwise, you have to define it. Then the third one is apply the test statistics, the method you're supposed to apply based on the mean value, based on the proportion value and variance value, which is available. And then you have a critical value from the table and check the critical value with the test statistics and accordingly come to the conclusion whether to accept the null hypothesis or reject the hypothesis. So what is a test statistics? So these are few methods of test statistics, which is some are parametric based, some are non-parametric based. So parametric based, where we have a Z test, T test, chi-square test, F test. These are all methods which are used. Some methods are only on the basis of mean value for small samples. If the variance is given, then you can go for chi-square test, and F test is also variance based method. So these are all test statistics which you're supposed to apply. Critical value you will get from the table and accordingly you can make the decision. So these steps are very important and this procedure is also important for the hypothesis testing. So let us start with the first example, a first type of a test, Z test. Just I have one example also. Yes. एवढीच घेऊ एक्झाम्पल आपण आज एकच टेस्ट घेऊया So the first case when you are making a statement on mean value. So what is my null hypo? I do have three options. In the first option, I have my mean value is same as mean of population is same as hypothesized value. Against it is not equal to. If I'm saying mu is equal to mu 0 against it is less than, mu is mu 0 against it is greater than. So the first method is when you have standard deviation available with you and your sample is large, then you can go for z-test. So what is z-test? Z-test is a x bar. X bar is basically x bar is given as sample mean. Mu 0 is basically given as population mean. Notations थोड़े वेगळे दिले त्यांनी. ठीक आहे. X bar is your sample mean. Mu 0 is population mean divided by standard deviation. Standard deviation formula is the denominator parameter is standard deviation divided by square root of total number of samples. So sigma divided by square root of n is the formula for Z hypothesis test. Okay. So whatever the sample mean minus population mean divided by standard deviation divided by root n. So this is a formula for Z test. So let us take one example. So whenever you have larger data is there and when the standard deviation is available, you can go for Z-test. Okay, let us discuss the example. In the first case, let's say survey 10 years ago of certain test CAP
सकाळी काय म्हणजे एनर्जी स्लो असतो सर.
found that the
Energy low
average
असते.
salary was $74,914. Okay, this was the average salary. Later, accounting researcher would like to know that this was statistic of 10 years ago. Now, an accounting researcher would like to test whether over the years the average has been increased or not. Okay, average has increased or not. So this we wanted to test. Okay, this is what is given to you. Now, for testing purpose, what they have done is they have taken 112 sample data. They have took this sample and identified or calculated the mean salaries of 78,900,695. So this was a mean salary calculated on the sample size. The standard deviation is also given 14,530 is the standard deviation. Okay. So what we wanted to do is population mean is given. What is population mean? 74,914 is a population mean.
जास्ती भाषा येतात
Right?
ना सर.
Over the years,
त्याला
for
दिवसात
that particular
4 तास वायाच
accountant
जातात
test, which they have claimed that the average salary was 74. So that was a population given. Over the year, whether the average salary is increased or not, this we wanted to identify. For that purpose, they have given the sample data for 112 CPA with the mean salary of 78,695 and the standard deviation is also given. So what is my null hypothesis in this case? My null hypothesis is mu is less than mu 0 because what I wanted to see is that whether my average has increased or not, has increased. So mu is alternative hypothesis if mu is greater than 74,914 against my hypothesis if mu is equal to 74,914 is my null.
किती घाण इंग्लिश बोलायला गटर तोंडाचं
There is no difference in the rate. So which is mu is equal to 74,940 is my null hypothesis. My alternate hypothesis that it is increased or not that we wanted to test. So mu is greater than 74,940. Okay. Now apply the z-test. What is the z-test formula? X bar minus mu0 divided by standard deviation divided by n. What is X bar? X bar is the 74,078,000. 78,695 minus mu0, which is the population mean, which is 74,940 divided by standard deviation given 14,530 divided by 1 month. That is the
परवाचे ते 100 पाठवले त्याचे ते तिला ट्युशन दिलं म्हणतो तुम्ही बरं आणि त्या घरात पण बघा जरा दिलं हा आता जसं समजून नाही पाहिजे तुला काही पगार घ्यायला लागतो हा 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 हा
we no need to calculate. We had that answer. Z is equal to 2.75. ठीक है. Actually, ये example दे रही solve करा 2.75. Now, if you see that this is what a test statistic value. First case one happened like this is my first step where I have identified H2 H1. The second step is I have calculated the Z score. What is the third step? Third step is find out the critical values from table. So critical value from the table, if I see these tables, critical value is 1.645. Here table मधल्या values आहेत. काही मी तुम्हाला सांगते कसं करायचं. Level of significance 0.5%. Alpha is now we have critical values over here. What is the right tail test? How do I define the right tail test? Right tail test is defined in this way. This is my critical value section. This is my area of rejection. This is my area of acceptance. This is alpha. This is 1 minus alpha. This value we know, which is coming as 1.645. This is 0 over here. Is a positive value. This is a negative value. 2.75 is greater than 1.645, which is coming over here. Which is coming in which region? Rejection. So I'm rejecting my null hypothesis, which means that the average salary is not same, it has been increased. Yes, we know online student, is this clear to you?
ओके झाले मी बाय काय सांगणार परीक्षेचं काही नीट कळवणार काय गटार कॉलेज पण करते
Okay, take down one example. Suppose online students write down the example. Suppose a test on hypothesis H0 equal to mu is equal to 200 against H1 mu is greater than 200 is done with 1% level of significance. Standard deviation is 40, sigma is 40 and n is equal to 16. Write down the first question. What is the probability that null hypothesis accepted when true mean is really 210? 210. True mean. True mean is really 210. I mean it is increased. बरोबर. पण आता ह्या पॅरामीटरला नंतर जाऊ काय विचारलंय ते आधी आपल्याला फर्स्ट स्टेप इज डिफाइन युअर नल हायपोथेसिस. इट इज ऑलरेडी गिवन. Mu is equal to 200. What is your alternate hypothesis? Mu is greater than 200. Okay. Then what you have to see that what is the probability that might be accepted when the true mean is really 210. So it is been increased. So apply the Z statistics. 210 minus 200.
छातीत गुंग लागलंय माझ्या. माझ्या छातीत दुखायला लागलं सर. छातीत दुखतंय माझ्या.
1.93. So I will tell you the table value.
काय काम करते का अवशेष?
आपलं हे काय लेवल सिग्निफिकन्स 0.01.
आहे ना. विसरायची तुला.
पॉझिटिव्ह व्हॅल्यू. हा काय आलं आपला रिझल्ट? तुझं काय आलं?
येस.
किती आलं? Which is coming as alpha is 1, na? Alpha is 1. Then critical region is this 0.9714. It's 1%. This is 0.01, na? Level of significance is here. ह्याच्यातला पण टेबल चुकीचं असतं, म्हणजे नॉट करेक्ट. हे झेड व्हॅल्यू आहे. these are level of significance. निगेटिव्ह व्हॅल्यूज आर ऑब्टेन्ड बाय सिमेट्री म्हटलंय त्यांनी. 0.01 इथे पण आहे टेबल तो 1.96 ना. इथल्या व्हॅल्यूज वेगळ्या आहेत, तिथल्या व्हॅल्यूज वेगळ्या आहेत. इट्स कमिंग हिअर इज 0.0414. हो हे देऊ ना तुम्हाला. हे टेबल तुम्हाला दिलं जाईल. पण एखादाच क्वेश्चन असेल, फार नाही. कारण फार सिलेबस मध्ये काही नाहीये. तुम्हाला दुसऱ्या सब्जेक्टला आहे. ठीक आहे. मला असं वाटतं 3 स्टँडर्ड व्हॅल्यूज असतात झेड टेबलच्या, ज्या मी माझ्या प्रेझेंटेशन मध्ये पण आहेत. तेवढंच आपल्याला रेफर करायचे आहेत. These are ह्या जनरल व्हॅल्यूज आहेत जे मी शोधून काढलेल्या आहेत, म्हणजे जे आपल्याला लागतात. आता आपला हा राईट टेल टेस्ट आहे. व्हॉट इज अवर राईट, आपली जी टेस्ट आहे ती राईट टेल आहे ना. हा, तर त्याची टेबल व्हॅल्यू ही इतकी आहे 2.33. लिहून काढ हे. टेबल व्हॅल्यू इज 2.33.
बेरोजगार बघा ना किती आहेत भारतात.
मी तुम्हाला करेक्ट टेबल देते ह्याच्यात पण नाहीये आणि त्या टेबल मध्ये पण नाहीये. ओके. आणि व्हॉट इज युअर टेस्ट व्हॅल्यू? टेस्ट सेट अप्लाय केल्यावर झेड टेस्टची काय व्हॅल्यू आहे? हा, सो अप्लाय इट ओव्हर हिअर. क्रिटिकल ह्याच्यामध्ये नॉर्मल कर्वला अप्लाय कर आणि सी इन विच रिजन इट इज कमिंग. No. Critical value, compare it with your test statistic. Critical value is here.
त्याला
This is
आपल्याला
my
माहित
critical
पाहिजे
value.
यांचं
इथे critical
autonomous,
value
यांचं
आहे.
काहीच आहे.
आणि
आपल्या
तुझी किती
युनिव्हर्सिटीचं
येते?
असतं
इथे
तर ते
येते
तर वेळेत होतं
1
ना सर.
point.
हा?
So it is coming in the acceptance
यांचं
region.
काय
So you have
15
to
चं त्यांनी 21
accept the null
ठरवलं.
hypothesis
अजून
which
सिलेबस
says that
सांगणार.
की तुझा म्यू हा 200 आहे. बरोबर.
प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये कसं आहे, सिलेबस बंद त्याच
So
दिवशीवर
what is the
पेपर
probability
बनतात ना.
that null
थोडे
hypothesis
काय
might be
आजपासून
accepted
बाहेरनं बनवून येते.
when the true
काय
value
चाललंय,
is really
युनिव्हर्सिटीच्या पोरांच्या
210?
परीक्षाही झाल्या.
आता इथे जर आपला ऍक्सेप्ट
घोटाळा माहिती ना, घोटाळा झाला परत. दंगे पण चालू केले युनिव्हर्सिटीत जाऊन.
in our case it is coming as mu is equal
युनिव्हर्सिटीत
to
दंगे झाली की काय?
200. So
पेपर
your
डिले झाला
mean
म्हणून.
value is 200.
1 तास
So we
उशिरा
don't
पेपर
have
आला
any
म्हणून.
acceptance for the true mean when it comes under 210. Null hypothesis might not be getting accepted,
हा,
right?
पुणे युनिव्हर्सिटीचे झाले
So
की जून आत्ताच
my
झाले.
null hypothesis is
आज आला,
correct.
7 तारखेपासून
That
होत.
is what is the conclusion.
सांग 2 आठवडे पुढे असतो.
Probability I don't
मर्जी चांगली आहे, असलेलं बरं आहे.
depend
म्हणजे
of your
ऑटोनॉमस
significance
चांगलं
level.
नाही आहे
Level
सर.
significance is
कॉलेज त्याच्यातले
1%.
पावर येते बघ ना,
So
किती डिले
probability
करतात
साठी मला
गोष्टी.
वाटतं हे कॅल्क्युलेशन
निवांत होतं कॉलेज बहुतेक सर.
आपल्याला करावं
घाई
लागेल का?
नसते कॉलेजला मग. हा, ते युनिव्हर्सिटी मध्ये कशी घाई लागते माग ना.
ठीक आहे, हे मी सांगते तुम्हाला.
युनिव्हर्सिटीला काय नाही फरक पडत. मला लई त्रास होतोय, उठल्यापासून मला त्रासच होतो. काय माहित काय. हो, हिने झाकण फेकून दिलं काय कचरा त्याचं आहे नाही खाली. दिलं बहुतेक टाकून, दिलं टाकून. काय मम्मीला एवढंच जमतंय सर. हं?
So it is coming in this region 1 point alpha which is 95% म्हणतोय. हा, मग तिची प्रोबॅबिलिटी आपली 1% येणार जो आपण रिजेक्ट करतोय. म्हणजे दिस इज 99.99 is getting your mean value is equal to 200. So rest one you don't have any, I mean this is what the probability where your true mean is not equal to 200 or greater than
ओ
200 means
शिट,
really
हे
210
कॉलेज
because we
काही
have
चांगलं
applied the
नाही.
Z test.
प्लेसमेंट साठी घेतलंय आपण ऍडमिशन. आपल्याला अभ्यास करायचा. ह्यांच्या वर्षीला फक्त सॅस मध्ये येते पण.
Okay, so this is one method of Z.
आला
This
ग
is one
बाई आई तुझी.
test statistic method. हा जो टेबल आहे हा आपण this मी तुम्हाला हा टेबल देईल पुढच्या वेळेला. पण And alpha is basically based on 1%, 5%, 10%. आता आपला हा 1% होता ना, म्हणून आपली ही व्हॅल्यू घेतली आपण 2.33. सर 5% असेल, ह्या जनरली 3 व्हॅल्यू असतात, नॉट अदर दॅन दिस, आणि ह्या 3 टेस्ट बस. म्हणून हाच टेबल आणि हा तुम्हाला आम्ही देऊच.
काय काय म्हणते तर आजची जिंदगी आहे
नाही,
जिंगायचा अधिकारच नाही
तो
कोणाला.
टेबलचं कॅल्क्युलेशन रिजेक्टेड, ते चुकलंय, ते नाहीये. कारण त्याच्यामधला त्यांनी झेड टेस्टची व्हॅल्यू दिली होती. वी नॉट टेक इन टू कन्सिडरेशन द झेड टेबलच्या व्हॅल्यूचा व्हेरियन्स त्यांनी मे बी त्या टेबलमध्ये दिसतोय.
पार्कर
सो ह्याच्यामध्ये काय होतंय ना, ह्याच्यामध्ये टाईप ऑफ अ टेस्ट आणि लेवल ऑफ सिग्निफिकन्सनी त्याची क्रिटिकल व्हॅल्यू काढतोय आपण. झेडची क्रिटिकल व्हॅल्यू काय, त्या टेस्टचा स्कोर काय क्रिटिकल असू शकतो. At what is the margin where it is getting differentiate in between your acceptance region and rejection region. That's a different, that's a वेगळं आहे. It's a different thing. ह्याचं हा टेबल इज द करेक्ट वन फॉर अवर मेथड.
साहेब करा आत्महत्या करा.
पेन
पंचनी मे किमती रिफिल 115 भेटले.
स्टुडंट्स टेल मी युअर नंबर्स. 5101
200 रुपये.
512
Yes, ma'am. Present.
5103
Present, ma'am.
रुचिता इज देयर. ठीक आहे. अम्मी साइन करशील. 5 5105 5106 आहे का रे? 5107 नाही. 5108 प्रतीक्षा
Present, ma'am.
दिसतीये. 5109 रोहित
प्रेझेंट मॅम.
आहे. 5110 अवंतिका.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
5111 आदित्य. 5112 सौरभ.
Present, ma'am.
5201 आहे का? ठीक आहे. 5202
Present, ma'am.
5203 प्रणव. 5204 5205 5206 प्रगती आहे.
Present, ma'am.
52 yes 5207
Present, ma'am.
5208 5209
Present, ma'am.
5210
Present, ma'am.
5211 5212
Present, ma'am.
and 5213. Isn't it 16?
16.
Ma'am, 5203.
5203
16 गाण 16.
5201, ma'am.
oh yes, which is students, I have uploaded my presentation on Team. So today by end of the day I will upload few questions also, sample questions for unit 1. Okay, and the format and everything also I will convey it to you. Okay, mostly it will be in the form of 15 question, 15 marks question, and each question having 2 parts, A and B. 7 and 8 marks. ओके, ते तुम्हाला सांगितलंय ऑलरेडी. हा ठीक आहे, कल्याणी मॅडम. And let me know if you have any difficulty in unit 1, any of the point. Okay, you can message me, you can mail me, and you can refer Kothari's book also. I will send the PDF also on team, which you can refer. ठीक है. Okay, I'm ending the class now, students. Thank you.
ती काय म्हणते सांगते आज सगळे क्वेश्चन काय हे पॅटर्न सगळा पाठवते आज. तिनेच सांगितलं शेवटी, आम्ही विचारायच्या आधी. हम्म. पंधरा मार्काचं काय तर म्हणते बोर्ड. 20 मार्क टेस्ट, 5 मार्क कुठे गेले काय माहित. लावा नको राहू दे तिला पहिले जरा. मग 16 जण ऑनलाईन आलती. सांगितलं ना शेवटी आज टाकते म्हणून संध्याकाळी. काय हो साहेब, गु आहेत गु नुसता वास मला. आता डोकंच फिरलं, एवढं नाव कॉलेजचं आणि असले झेंडायचं. हा, त्याचं बीवर फोकस आहे सगळा. येप. हा, तेवढंच राहतं. 12 लाखच पगार होतो, काय वाढत नाही. नाही ना, 12 लाखच त्यांचा वशिला आहे, त्याच्यावर देत नाहीत. त्याच्यावर देतात ते इंटर्नशिप देतात. इंटर्नशिपचा काय महत्व नसतं, काढून टाकतात नंतर. हम्म. हा, जगातल्या सगळ्या कंपन्यांना डाटा सायन्स लागतो, अशी कुठलीच कंपनीला डाटा सायन्स लागत नाही. नाही ते नाही. एनर्जीच नाही राहतो. रिझल्ट आला.